Hello and welcome to the sideboard here for the top 8 interviews at the Invitational. I'm Ken Crocker here with our 8 seed, Justin Rios. Justin, good morning. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
All right, Justin, so let's talk about your deck choices for the Invitational. We'll start with Modern. You went 8-0 undefeated with Green Red Tron.
Yep.
So why did you choose to play Green Red Tron other than apparently you could just go undefeated with it?
I was really comfortable with the deck. I was able to play test it for the past month or so, and I was given to it by a friend, a good friend of mine, and he was able to lend it to me for the weekend. So.
Fair enough. Well, it seemed to have worked well for you.
Yep, sure did.
And then in Standard, which is going to be in the top 8 here, you played Odds on Aggro with a 4-3-1 record.
Yep.
So why'd you choose Odds on Aggro?
I've been playing Odds on Aggro ever since about Cons came out. When it was Herald of Torment was in the format, that's what I won an IQ with. So yeah,
that's some good tech.
And ever since, just I felt the most comfortable as well with Odds on Aggro, so I chose to play that.
All right, so in the quarterfinal matchup, you're going to play against our number 1 seed, Vidto, who's on Esper Dragons.
Yep.
So I'm assuming you looked over the deck list and you have a plan. So how do you feel about that matchup in the quarterfinals?
Being on the draw is going to be an uphill battle, but I do feel somewhat confident in my ability to play with the Abs and Aggro deck on the draw against the Esper Dragon deck, as I was able to look over the deck list last night and I have a good understanding of what I should be doing. So.
All right, fair enough. And if you do beat Vidto and you win the whole tournament, you actually get a token made into your likeness.
Right.
So what token do you want to make?
I do think it would be pretty cool if I was able to be the 2/2 Knight ally for Gideon.
All right, that's awesome. So yeah, you get to put him in your deck, and then you get to play, you get to make yourself on the battlefield.
Which would be pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. All right, well, good luck in your quarterfinal matchup, Justin. Appreciate it.
Thanks, no problem.
All right, let's kick it over to Nick Miller, who's with our 7th seed, Michael Cortez.
Hello, I'm Nick Miller, along with our number 7 seed, Michael Cortez. How you doing, sir?
Doing very good.
Good to see you here. You are number 7 seed. You crushed with Modern. Abzan Coco was your deck of choice, but you play a little something different in Standard. A little Craig Wesco-y, white-black. We're going to call it Esper. You got a bunch of blue cards in the sideboard.
Yeah.
How'd you come to that Standard deck this weekend?
Like I said in the little player profile, I usually always have a deck ready for my wife to play whenever she wants to play some Standard. She's actually pretty good. She top 8'd a PTQ back then, even before I did. So
right.
she's got some game. She likes wide aggressive strategies, like said Craig Wesco. So I usually have one of those available. I saw that he did well at a Grand Prix about a month ago with a white-black sort of mid-range aggressive deck. Put it together for her. I was actually playing Bring to Light at the beginning of this format, like Joel said.
Sure.
I wasn't having as much success as he is with it.
No one else is.
Yeah, no one else is. So I just took her deck because it was already built, took it to a PPTQ, and I just wingmate rocked everybody. And I tried different variations of that deck, a little bit more aggressive, more Esper tokeny. But I did decide for the Invitational, I wanted to be playing Silk Wrap because I think that is the best removal spell in Standard right now. It deals with everything in every deck because even the control decks are playing Jace. Silk Wrap, just exiling so good. And Wingmate Rock is just an obscene magic card.
Right. Went 5-3 in Standard. You went 7-1 with your Modern deck of Abzan Collected Company. I know you said you had played some Pod in the past, so you're pretty familiar with that strategy. Did pretty good for you this weekend.
Yeah, I've been playing Birthing Pod since that was a deck in Modern, doing that combo, and it was best. I had so much success with it, and then they banned it, and it was really, really dark times for a little bit.
Yeah.
Companies changed it a little bit. You still has a combo, but it's not so much value-y as it was with the Pod with all the one-ofs. Now you have to just run so many combo pieces in the board, and you just got to roll the dice on that on the company. A lot of people, a lot of the friends that they always say I get so lucky with these companies. Because they're there to see when I company into like the 2 combo pieces. They don't see when I whiff. Because there's a lot of mana dorks in that deck. It happens much more often than I'd like. But you roll the dice in Vegas and it paid off today.
The deck's worked out for you. You're in the top 8. You got a matchup here in the quarterfinals against 4-Color Rally, a very popular deck.
Yep.
How do you feel your matchup is?
I have 4 main deck Transgress the Mind, 4 main deck Stasis Snare, 4 main deck Silk Wrap. That's 12 exile effects. That's extremely powerful against Rally. Pre-board, before I have any counter magic, it's all just about making sure they don't hit their critical mass of creatures on the board and in the graveyard, so the rallies are bad and they just have sort of anemic draft beats. They just have a bunch of commons and uncommons out there. And Archangel Ties and, of course, Wingmate Rock, they just fly over everything. They can't kill them. So pre-board, those things just fly over. Post-board, bringing all the counter spells, dispels and disdainful strokes for Rally and Coco. and hopefully it goes well.
All right, well, lastly, we got to ask you, if you take this whole thing down, $10,000, invite to the Players' Championship next week, but also the token. This is what everyone wants.
Right.
What do you want made in your likeness?
I've always wanted a zombie token. I'm a huge fan of Sidisi making zombies, and zombie tokens is sort of a timeless classic in Magic, so I'd always want a zombie token. At the same time, though, if I win this thing, it will be on the back of Wingmate Rock, so I might have to picture myself riding in on the Rock token like that. So one of those two.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. I'm going to
you.
send it back down to Ken Crocker, who's sitting with our number 6 seed, Caleb Scherer.
All right, we're here with Caleb Scherer, our 6th seed, for a winter interview. Caleb, how you doing?
Doing awesome.
Yeah, I bet you're doing awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about some things. So, you were in the Players' Championship race a little bit at the start of this, and you said that you thought you were dead, and now here you are in the top 8.
Yeah, this is just like this, and then the past 2 opens, it's just been insane.
So let's talk about your deck choices for this. So normally in Modern, you're a guy who's storming it up. You're counting to 10, but you decided instead to play some Affinity, and you ended up going 6-1-1 with it. So why Affinity instead of Storm for this?
Well, as much as I wanted to play Storm here, I had to concede that I need something a little bit better since I needed to basically spike this invitational. And, basically being kind of the dredge of the format where I can just jam and go, and using some math skills as well, since you get to do a lot of Ravager math, which is fun. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
And then in Standard, you went 6-2 with your old trusty Obs on Aggro deck. So you chose Obs on Aggro just because you knew it well? Or?
Yeah, I've known it well. I've been playing it for the past month. I played it in just last week in Denver, so feeling pretty confident with it. So I just started to stick with my guns.
All right, so sticking with your guns, especially because, so the question that I really have to ask you, you started off 5-3 in day 1, so you barely squeaked into day 2.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just rattled off 7 in a row, and then you got to intentionally draw with your teammate Joe Lisette. So what was the difference between day 1 and day 2 for you?
Well, basically, day 1 was, okay, I figured, let's just kind of jam it, see how it goes, and went to bed basically saying, well, in order to actually make the PC that I've been trying all year, I just need to rattle off infinite wins, so.
And you just did it?
Yep.
That easy?
Yeah, fair.
Fair enough. Well, you still got a little bit of work to do left, so in the quarterfinals, you're going to be facing Alex Smith, our 3rd seed, who's on Jeskai Black. How do you feel about that matchup?
The matchup, I feel like game 1, I feel slightly a disadvantage, but after board, basically, it's kind of a 50-50, really dependent on a few turn 2, turn 3 plays with Jace and so forth. So, we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, let's say you get past him, and then you win the whole thing. You get a token made in your likeness. What token are we going to make?
Oh, we're making a storm counter.
So that way, anytime you're storming off, you just
yes.
get to add numbers to you. All right. That sounds awesome. Well, good luck in your quarterfinals,
Thank you.
Caleb. I appreciate it. All right. We're going to send it over to Nick Miller, who's with our 5th seed, Giuliano.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Nick Miller alongside our number 5 seed, Giuliano. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good to see you here. Now, you've played a couple of unconventional decks. Well, one unconventional deck, one pretty conventional deck. But Red Black Dragon's a deck we have not seen a lot in Standard, and you seem very well positioned in this top 8 in the Standard portion.
Yeah, Red Black Dragons was kind of a little bit of a pet deck of mine for the last couple of weeks. I started out as a much more aggressive shell. It was more of a Abbot of Carol Keep and had some treasure cruises in it. It was very, very aggressive, but with a Dragon's curve on top. But it didn't really work out too well. It just felt a little clunky, even though I was putting up decent results. So I figured I would make a couple changes and see where I went with that. One of my friends who's in the top 32 is Zach Canner, who I tested with him online until we refined a list, and we figured out that Hangerback Walker and Flamewake Phoenix is really good. So we put that together, and we're doing really well with it. So I brought it to the Invitational.
Anyway, your Standard deck performed very well for you. You played Jund, a little more conventional and modern there. You just a strategy you're familiar with?
Yeah. I've played a lot of Black-Green X before. I played Junk to a top 16 finish in Baltimore recently, but I like Black-Green X. It's a very powerful linear strategy, so it's nice.
Let's talk about your quarterfinal matchup here. You're against, Joe Lisette, the 4 seed. He's playing this 5-color Bring to Light deck that looks very well positioned against a lot of the, usual suspects in this format. But I don't know if he's got a lot of reps against a deck like yours. How do you feel the matchup is?
I think the matchup favors me, at least in game 1, and post-board I'm hoping to like keep it pretty even or stay ahead of him. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty good matchup for me. I just gotta play it out and see how it goes.
All right, well, there's 3 matches separating you from the Players' Championship, $10,000, but also your likeness on a token. Have you thought about what you want to be represented as?
I didn't think too much about it, but I guess a 5/5 dragon would be pretty cool, like the Dragon Master Outcast token, even though there isn't any Dragon Master Outcasts in my list.
It might give you a reason to add some. You know, start playing a little bit of that.
Go for a little bit of a long game.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck. I'm going to send it back down to King Crockers with our number 4 seed, Joe Leet.
Welcome back to the sideboard here for the winners interviews. I'm here for Joe Leet, who is our 4th seed. Joe, congratulations on making the Players' Championship. Pretty much any way you are going to do this.
Well, thanks. I put a lot of work into that, and it was definitely the goal for the year was to get back. And I'm super excited that I managed to do it.
You're there either at large, on points, invitational.
Well,
you got locked up every way possible.
It's great that I'm in, but now
we're focused on this.
I came into this weekend thinking, I really want to just lock up the Players' Championship, and that happened pretty early on. And now, like, I'm in. I want to win this.
You want this. All right. Well, speaking of which, we'll talk about your deck choices.
Okay.
So, in Modern, you played 5-2-1 with Red Green Tron. Something normally you play. You actually played a Conduit of Ruin to try to spice things up. So, exactly how did that deck choice in spicing this help in this tournament?
Well, the Conduit of Ruin is a really cool card.
Okay.
I did not cast it once, and I boarded it out every single game. So there you go.
So not great.
No. Maybe it would have been good, but I didn't give it a chance because it seemed about halfway through round 1, I was thinking to myself, this was probably a mistake.
Fair enough. Well, luckily you brought 5-color Bring to Light to Standard, a deck we've seen you play before. You actually top 4'd last weekend in Denver with it. You made a couple changes to the main deck. So were those changes based off what you thought the metagame would be here? Because you went 7-1 with the thing, so obviously those changes might have helped a little bit.
Oh, I think the changes helped, but they weren't based on a different metagame. They were based on, there's a lot of moving parts in that deck, and it's not perfect.
Sure.
And I think this is just better than the version I played last week. There were minor changes, but I think they were just improvements. And if I play it again, next week or next month, there might be a few more changes too. And it's not based on the metagame. It's just the deck. I feel like the deck is still just getting better.
Fair enough. So in the quarterfinals, you're going to be playing against Giuliano, who's on Red Black Dragons, a deck that we really haven't seen in this standard format.
Right.
So not something you're used to playing against. How do you feel about that matchup in the quarterfinals?
Well, Zach proxied it up last night, and we played a bunch of games.
Okay.
It's not good.
You didn't stream it, did you?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I looked at the deck list and I thought, I can beat this. Then we started playing the games, and my opinion was quickly proven wrong. I didn't even win half the games, and I get to go first.
Sure, you're on the play.
So Zach was getting frustrated because we're just playing like 20 games in a row. He has to go second every single time. But I still didn't even win half the games, which was not encouraging. And then the sideboarding, he conceivably could bring, he's not going to, but all 15 of his cards he conceivably could play. So we kind of had to guess on, is he going to bring in these 7 or these 9, and we really don't know.
A lot of tricky sideboarding going on.
Yeah, well, he could board in all 15 and randomly take out 15 cards, and I still might not have a good matchup. But it's not terrible. Like I'm not going to be shocked if I win, but I feel like it's not going to be easy.
Not going to be easy. I mean, tough matchups.
It's like Tarka Red is very fast, but if you survive the early game, you
got
win.
there. You got there.
And the Kolaghan can come down and just crush me, even if it seems somewhat stable. So it's a little frightening.
All right, let's say you do get through the kind of tricky matchup.
Yeah.
And then you end up winning the entire thing.
Yeah.
You get to make a token.
Yeah.
What kind of token are we gonna make?
Well, that's tough because in my Legacy deck, depending on how the build of it, we either make Monk tokens or we make 4/4 Angels. Those are both spoken for already.
Yeah, those have already been done.
Yeah.
This year, actually.
Yeah. So either we flip a coin and bump somebody out.
Wow.
Or we'll have to come up with another option. But those are the two that my decks make.
Those are the two. So Monk or Angel.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe talk to Jacob and Ollie, see which one of those guys wants their token.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you taking the time. Good luck in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna head over to Nick Miller, who's with our 3rd seed, Alex Smith.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Miller alongside our number 3 seed, Alex Smith. Congratulations on making it this far.
Thank
How
you.
you feeling?
Feeling good.
All right, you played Jeskai Black and you played Infect as your 2 decks of choice. How'd you come to that decision?
I wanted to play with Jason at Standard. I think it's, the card's insane. It sees playing Legacy and Vintage.
Sure.
And for Modern, I just wanted something that had a fast clock and had an okay matchup against the other unfair decks.
Well, you did very well in both. X1-1 in both formats. Now you're set up for a standard top 8, Jeskai Black here. How do you feel your quarterfinal matchup is against Caleb, playing some Abzan aggro?
Game 1, I feel pretty advantaged. His sideboard's very different, so I'm not sure, there's multiple ways that he can go post sideboard, so there I'm less clear about what's going to happen.
You've played that matchup a lot, I assume. That's a very popular deck in the format, so.
Yeah, I played it 4 times during the Invitational. I won all 4, and, but no one had Pitiless Hordes or Rising Miasma or Planar Outburst in their sideboard.
Yeah, he has a much different take on his, so I assume you probably tested a little bit last night.
Just tried to do some theory crafting, and that was about it. Wanted to get some good sleep.
Okay. Well, if you win the whole thing, $10,000, invite to the Players' Championship, also a token. What would you like?
Thinking Deceiver Exarch. Everyone's talked about the, Deceiver Exarch Twin, and just dumping out a bunch of tokens on the battlefield would be, interesting once before you got your unsportsmanlike conduct warning. But yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
That's interesting because you played, Infect this week. Do you play a lot of Twin outside of that?
Generally for Modern, it's either Infect or Twin.
All right. Well, you went with Infect. It looked really good. Jeskai Black looked really good. You got a standard top 8 ahead of you. Wish you the best of luck. I'm going to send it down to Ken, who's with our number 2 seed, Casey Portis.
Cool.
All right, I'm here for another interview in the top 8 of this invitational, this time with our 2C, Casey Portis. Casey, good morning. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Feeling confident?
I am.
All right, well, there's probably a good reason you're feeling confident. It's probably standard because you went undefeated, but let's talk about your Modern deck choice first, all right?
Yep.
So in Modern, you decided to play Teamer Twin,
Yep.
and you went 5-3. Now, why Teamer Twin? Even Todd Anderson, a guy who's just been playing mono Teamer Twin, decided to play Infect here. So why Teamer Twin for this tournament?
I played it at the RPTQ. I tested a bunch. It has very good mid-range matchups. Like, it's very good against the Obzons, the Juns. It's good against, Escape Shifts. I mean, Tarmogoyf is very good at attacking, against the combo matchups.
Sure.
I've found it really good. It's a little weaker in the actual blue mirrors.
Okay.
But other than that, it's, I think, stronger in most of the other matchups.
Well, you did run the table in standard. You went 8-0 with
Yep.
4-color rally.
Yep.
I guess I don't really have to ask why you decided to play 4-color rally, but is there any particular reason you chose 4-color rally over something else, or did you just think it was the best deck?
I haven't played standard up until last weekend.
Okay.
I haven't really needed to. I won my PPTQ early, and so I just decided to. I knew Abzan was always like 35% of the field.
Sure.
And Rally's matchup against Opton is absurdly good, and it looked great. So that's why I decided to play.
So you just picked up 4-color rally, a deck that requires like a ton of interaction, and you went 8-0 with it.
I mean, the deck doesn't require interaction.
Well, a bunch of mechanics.
Yeah.
Sure.
I played it a bunch on Moto last weekend and during the week, but that was about it.
Fair enough.
I played Aristocrats when it was in standard, so it was somewhat,
similar kind of mechanics.
Yeah, obviously this has a lot more triggers, scrying, scrying, drawing, all that stuff.
Fair enough. Well, it seems like you're doing good with it. You have to feel good about your quarterfinal matchup where you're facing against Michael Cortez, who's on Esper mid-range.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that matchup going in?
Game 1 is almost unlosable.
Almost unlosable.
Almost unlosable. His only...
That's a called shot, ladies and gentlemen. Almost unlosable.
I mean, his only interaction game 1 is Transgress the Mind.
Okay.
And his creatures don't even really pair up very well against mine. He's got Archangel, but I only need to attack with an Atuka Husk anyways.
Sure.
And
you can just bounce it.
I can just bounce it if I need to.
Fair enough.
Like, his only way to interact game 1 is Transgress, and that doesn't even hit Rally.
Yeah. So how do you feel after sideboard?
After sideboard, it gets a little tougher. I'm assuming he's bringing in all 5 of his counter spells.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's boarding out his Knight of the White Orchids, especially because he's going to be on the play, presumably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already said that you're going to win game 1. So.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he's going to be on the play game too. So that makes his knights worse.
Sure.
So I'm assuming he's bringing all those out and cutting the ultimate price for his 5 counters.
All right, so let's say you get through your quarterfinals matchup and you win the whole thing. I mean, you went undefeated in standard. That doesn't seem too far-fetched. If you do win the whole thing, you get a token made in your likeness.
Yep.
So which token are we going to be using, given that you've already run the table?
We're going with a token that no one ever needs. We're going with Deceiver Exarch.
You're going with the Deceiver Exarch token.
Yes.
So basically you're saying, I'm going to put Splinter Twin on Deceiver Exarch, I'm going to tap it, and then you're just going to see me infinite amount of times.
I mean, no one can ever get enough of me. Like, it's great.
That is confidence. I think you're the most confident competitor here tonight. So in that case, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to head over to Nick now, who's with our first seed, Vidto Wijaya.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Miller alongside our number 1 seed, Vidto Wijaya. Congratulations on making this far. You absolutely crushed the Swiss of this tournament. How'd you feel going through?
I don't know. It's fine. Like every round, like I win, and I'm just like, what's going on? So.
Couldn't believe it yourself?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you played 2 very good decks. Esper Dragons and Standard. Talk about how you came to the decision to play that deck.
I actually have not played any games or match with the deck since the regional PTQ where I played the deck. I wanted to play like a control deck. I just want to play with Dick True Time. And I talked to my friends, and one of my friends, Anthony Lee from Australia, he just gave me a pretty good list, like the basic, and I just like changed like some cards, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, it seems right up your style. You did very well with it. Your modern deck as well, Grixis Control, another deck up, right up your alley. You just dominated again.
Yeah, like I think I figured out like pretty much I just need to play a deck with card draw, discard, and counter spells, and like that's
It's a pretty winning combination for you.
Yeah. I don't really like attacking. It's not.
Unless it's with a Ojutai or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I will have to attack eventually, but yeah.
All right. Well, you're the number 1 seed. You're facing a quarterfinal matchup against Abzan Aggro. How do you feel that matchup looks like?
I played against Abzan like a couple times, and it felt okay, but I don't know. We'll see. Like his sideboard's pretty good against me. He has like 5 discard spells and 2 Painful Truth. Painful Truth is really good, by the way. Yeah, it's the truth, pretty much.
Heard it here first. Painful Truth is the truth.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you win this whole thing, Las Vegas has been pretty good to you. You've already won it open here a few years back. $10,000 invite to the Players Championship and a token. We want to know, what does Vidto Wijaya want to be?
Right now, Desolation Twin and Stang are the top contenders. I'll think about it if I win, but yeah, we'll see.
Some obscure choices. I like them quite a bit. I wish you the best of luck in your quarterfinals matchup. Stay tuned. We're going to take a short break, but our first quarterfinal matchup will be coming up at 10:30.